Hello and welcome to my show Indus Cuisine, and I'm your chef Basim Akhund. We're back with a new episode from the heart of Pakistan. Today's recipe is very interesting, and you could say it's a breakfast recipe of Pakistan. But this recipe is such a big hit that people have this recipe for lunch and dinner also. We're making the Pakistani egg curry. It's a recipe that is very close to my heart. Why? Because I've grown up eating this, and it's a very easy recipe. If you're new to cooking, if you follow these basic steps, I can assure you, you will do wonders while you're making this recipe. So first thing what we'll do is I'll let you know the ingredients for today's recipe, which are very easy to find and source. You need around half a dozen of eggs, which means 6 eggs. You need 2 onions and a bit of mint leaves. Then you need some ginger, garlic, some salt. You've heard it right, you need some sugar also for this recipe, some dried red chilies, you need some cinnamon sticks. You would require some cumin seeds, around 3 pieces of green chilies, the big ones, and a little bit of oil. We'll be using some oil for frying the eggs, and yes, you've heard it right, frying the eggs and also cooking the gravy. And for that, firstly, what you'll need is you'll need a wok in which I'll add water, and then I'll just boil the eggs. Now you might be thinking that I just said I'll be frying the eggs, but we will be frying the boiled eggs. This is how this recipe is done. So what I'll do is I'll add enough water in the wok so that I can boil the eggs properly. What I'll do is I'll add a little bit of salt. Why? Because salt gives a nice layering on the egg, and if the egg is cracked, or if it's cracked to a point that your eye cannot see it, it will give it a nice coating. So just place all the eggs in the pan, and once they are in the pan, increase the heat to full and let them cook for 8 minutes exactly. But the boiling time will start once the water starts bubbling, remember that. So increase the heat, give it a lid and let it cook properly. On the other hand, now what we need is we need to make the curry, the gravy for this recipe. So what I'll do is I'll pick up a frying pan, I'll bring it here and I'll increase the heat. The heat goes to full. So now you need 2 onions, which we shall finely slice, and then we shall fry till they get brown. So I'll pick up my knife, I'll take the root off lightly, not too much of it. Why? Because we want the onion to start falling apart, remember that. Throw this in the bin. As you can see, the water is slowly and gradually coming to the boil. Till then, what we'll do is we'll get ready with the onions. Okay, keep it on the side. Go really close. And then add it to the pan. The oil needs to be hot when it goes into the pan, and we shall be adding around, let's say, 5 tablespoons only for now. Turn around and keep going. Slowly and gradually we'll add the oil, and this is done. So first I'll add 5 tablespoons of oil in the pan, and I'll keep the remaining on the side for later. The pan was already hot, so when you add cold oil, it will eventually heaten up quickly. Add it to the pan. And this is done. Add around 2 pinches of salt. Mix it up. Add another pinch and mix it up again. This is done. Now what I'll do is I'll flatten the onions out so that they get equal heat and they cook nicely. Reduce the heat to, let's say, medium and give it a lid. On the other hand, you can see the eggs have come to boil. What I'll do is I'll reduce the heat to medium, and now I'll start counting 7 minutes. On the other hand, what you need is finely sliced garlic. Remember, for this recipe, you want the garlic to be sliced finely. So I'll just use my chef knife and I'll go as close as I can. Slowly and gradually. Turn it around. This is done. I'll add the garlic to the pan, and while the onion is getting brown, we'll give the garlic a chance to get light brown with this. So mix it up again, increase the heat. And flatten it out. Place it on the wok efficiently. And let this cook. Now what I'll do is, till the time this is cooking, I shall clean up and I'll let you know what to do next. Why? Because before that, you want the onions to be brown. So as you can see, the onions are getting brown. And what we have to do is we have to keep a close eye. Mix it in. Why? Because the onions towards the edges of the pan will always cook quicker. So once you start mixing it, all the onions get an equal chance to cook till they are brown. Okay, so while this is happening, I'll keep a close eye on them and I'll just pick up 2 tomatoes and I'll just cut them. So take the eye of the tomato out and throw this in the bin. This goes in the bin. Keep an eye over here. Slice them like this and pull them on the side. What I want is I want the onions to be sliced for this recipe, not chopped. And then I shall add it to the pan. This is done. The onions are nice and brown. I'll increase the heat so that I can evenly color them. Tilt the pan so that all the oil goes on the side like this and it gets a chance to fry in oil when it's submerged. This is done. Now before the pan gets too hot and the onions start getting really dark brown, you add the tomatoes to bring the temperature down off the pan. The heat is high. Add a pinch of salt and start mixing it. And this is done. So what I'll do now is I'll just flatten the tomatoes out and let them cook on medium heat. So reduce the heat to medium. You don't want to mash the tomatoes, you want the tomato to have this texture so that you can enjoy it with the eggs. Okay, the next part of this recipe is to add a little bit of ginger. So what I'll do is I shall just finely slice the ginger and keep the remaining on the side. You go as close as you can. It should be paper thin, remember that. In front of you, just keep it super close. Turn it around. And remember, if you can't go really thin, just shred the ginger. Why? Because otherwise, the ginger, if it's a little rough and it's a little thick, the texture of the whole recipe will change. The tomatoes are nice and soft. Pick this up and add it to the pan. I've coated it up. Now I'll spread it out. Give this a lid and let it cook for another 1 minute. So till the time this is cooking, what we'll do is we'll go for a short break, and once we're back from the break, I'll let you know what to do. Keep watching Indus Cuisine. Welcome back. You're watching Indus Cuisine and I'm your chef Basim Akhund. During the break, I just did one thing. I waited for you and I just took the eggs out of the water. I just peeled them and they're in front of you. On the other hand, the tomatoes I was making over here are nicely cooked. I shall not touch them to preserve the texture. And now what we'll do is we shall just shallow fry the eggs. So what I'll do is I'll add some oil. Once the oil is in, I'll increase the heat and I'll bring the pan to heat properly. We have to take some ginger. As I told you, I've saved some. There was a reason behind it. And I shall just slice it nicely. I shall finely slice it as close as I can. Turn it around. And firstly, what we'll do is we'll fry this into this. I will need some red chili powder also, which I'll pick from the back till the time the ginger is releasing its flavor in the oil. So the red chili powder is here. First what we'll do is we'll add some coriander seeds. We'll let them fry. We want to flavor the eggs. And now I'll reduce the heat to really low and add some red chili powder. Mix this up. And now place the eggs inside. The eggs go in. And we shall fry them by tilting them on the side. So once I tilt them, the eggs will get this nice deep frying effect, and as you can see, they will be a little spicy. So keep frying them. Do not increase the heat to really high. You want to fry them for like, let's say 35 to 40 seconds, and then I'll change the side so that the side which is out of the oil, we shall fry it on the other end of the pan. So this is almost done. Now what I'll do is I'll shift it and I'll change it towards this side. I want the eggs to be coated nicely in the oil and I want them to fry evenly. So just keep in mind that they must get heat of the oil properly. Just coat them like this. And this is done. What I'll do now is I'll keep the pan over here, and now we'll bring this pan here. Now the eggs are done. I'll let them rest over there and I'll increase the heat over here. So now you want the red chili, the dried ones. Put them on the board and just slowly press them like this. I want all the seeds to go in the pan. They go here, and I'll just take a little bit of water and I'll add it over here. Take the stem off first, and then just slice the green chilies like this. Keep it in an angle. And then keep going in. This is done. Take the stems, throw it on the side, and transfer all the greens over here. On the other hand, what we'll do is we'll take some oil, we'll transfer it into the tomatoes now. Mix it up and let the green chilies fry. You need to add a little bit of cumin seeds now. Wherever the oil is, mix it up again and then spread it out evenly. This is done. You need some cinnamon sticks. They go in. We shall make it into a nice flavor with this. Mix it up again and then push it down. Add the eggs into this. I'll just pick up a spatula and I'll shift them slowly. As you can see that the eggs have a nice crisp skin on top because of frying them. This is what we require for the flavor. And just put this on the side now. This is done. Mix everything up evenly. And give it a lid and let it cook for around 5 minutes on low heat. So till then this is cooking, what we'll do is we'll clear up and then I'll let you know what to do next. So I've given the eggs around 5 to 6 minutes on really low heat. What I'll do now is I'll add a little bit of vinegar to bring this nice zing in the dish. Mix it up again. And now add a little bit of sugar. Add the sugar, spread it out, just a little bit for this nice flavor which will mix with the vinegar and give a nice tangy flavor. So what I'll do is I'll slowly mix it. And now I shall finally dish this dish out. So as you can see, today's recipe is ready. It was very easy and it's a recipe that can be taken for breakfast, lunch or dinner. It's pretty heavy. You can have some rice or some naan bread with it. I hope you liked today's episode. I'll see you in another episode of Indus Cuisine. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.